Where is the accountability? Why is it always our fault? Yes, I chose the nice guy. No, what happened turned out to be a covert narcissist, completely destroyed my self-worth and confidence. So then I decided to remove myself from the dating pool and heal and grow and evolve into who I am today, meaning now I'm celibate, not dating, and I'm happy with my life. But now I'm too picky because my standards and boundaries are really strong and really high, and I'm going to die with a bunch of cats because I'm too picky. I guess I'll take the cats or the bear or the shark, and I'll stay alone if these are my options.
She's a genius.
More than half of women who are married and categorize themselves as happily married.
Wait a sec.
They're married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a specific person they've identified.
A specific person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes. And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Never content, never settled, never loyal. The modern woman is about as reliable as the modern appliances they purchase. Sure, if you're lucky, you'll get 3 to 5 years of use out of that thing, but you know down the line a replacement is all but guaranteed. You see, the analogy works because when greed becomes inexorably linked to all things, nothing is built to last. Everything is set to corrode, dissolve, and, like the smartphones most carry, shut down. As I've said in past videos, all real men have come to understand that an investment in Western relationships is an investment in Enron or Bernie Madoff. Over the last few years, as more and more men go their own way, I've started to see a peculiar trend. One that just gets more and more noticeable with each passing year. Something that has to do with progressive women and their disappointment in the remaining simps they've chosen. Just take a look at this article on NYP by Melanie Knockin titled, "Why Progressive Women Want to Date Men Who Act Like Conservatives." In it, Knockin starts by reporting on the life of a New York soy boy writing, "My friend Mark, 36, is a catch by many New York City standards. He's good-looking, highly educated, and a talented photographer. He's also progressive and participates in protests and gives to left-leaning causes. And Mark is looking for love. He wants to get married and have kids. In a liberal city like New York, swimming with single women wishing they weren't, one could assume Mark wouldn't have a problem finding a mate. And while he dates and recently had a couple of short-lived relationships, Mark remains single. He's trying to understand why.
I have the answer.
I'm really open-minded and cool about gender stuff on dates, but I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells," Mark told me. "If I pay for dinners, it signals I don't value my date as my equal, so I'm super casual about it all. If she wants to pay or split it or whatever, that's fine with me." I told Mark that, despite his best intentions, his egalitarian dating style could be the problem that's holding him back. While some women balk at any hint of traditional male gender behavior, more lament the loss of chivalry. I'm one of them.
You don't say.
I find it attractive when a man plans our first date and knowingly walks curbside when we're together. It signals he wants to protect me from passing traffic or errant puddle splashes. And the fight against basic biology continues. See, Mark here is what many in my high school would derogatorily call a white knight. A guy who, instead of embracing his masculinity, took the easy route by trying to appeal to the body count mafia. When college came around, he probably thought looks like Ian Kerner's She Comes First, and then placed it on his nightstand without ever turning a page. He decided that a quick roll in the hay was worth debasing himself to the point of getting his man card revoked. Mark, and I'm sorry to any Marks in the audience, I know a lot of good Marks. Matches an archetype that we don't really talk about that often on Man Guide. After all, the messages we all promote together is to avoid these traps by any means necessary, and to never cater to women who encourage the fall of civilization. And yet, historically, these were the people who put us in such a position in the first place. Of course, the women's suffrage movement started the fire, but we all know by now that chicks wouldn't have the vote count if it weren't for guys like Knockin's little buddy, the jellyfish that gave psychotic females the first inches on their way to the mile. It's because of Mark and the legion of simps that we have to hear things like this on a daily basis.
So we were raised to think that if you're in a marriage, you have to stick it out. Last time I checked, vows were through thick and thin, through sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, not through infidelity, not through domestic violence, not through degrading them verbally.
The Blob, it's highly unstable.
Are you single?
I am single. I have a couple of boyfriends. I hope they're not watching. Maybe like 4 or 5. So I guess I'm single. I am single. Yeah.
I mean, but what's it like dating 5 people at the same time?
It's just like juggling.
Are you sleeping with all 5 of them?
Some of them, not all of them. And I will never sleep with them like on the first date or the second date, so I make them wait. But yeah, there's only 2 that I'm banging. The rest of them are just there for funsies.
Why not all? What's the deciding factor between whether you give it up or not?
Well, there's different guys for different situations. Some guys, I just want to go to... I forgot that I'm recording this. There's different purposes for different tools. So I tell everybody that I'm celibate, but I'm not. Honestly, the one that I'm fucking, never gonna get in a relationship with him. He doesn't have the job, the finances, none of that.
So why even open yourself up to a guy like that?
Great dick.
Aw, Mark, you hear that? You're here for funsies. I guess marching to betray your fellow man did pay off. Make sure to hold her hair while Chad scores. You wouldn't want her to look bad while you're paying for tonight's 3-course dinner.
I'm a man.
Sure you are, buddy. Sure you are. Anyway, let's get to the other part of this article that Knockins talks about. The fact that, although these progressive males supposedly do absolutely everything right, women don't seem to want to keep them around. You know, the part where she and her comrade bashed chivalry in the head with a blunt instrument and then asked men why it's dead. The article continues with, "When I was a kid, my mom told me to always walk curbside, but I assumed my generation of women would think it's too old-fashioned," Mark told me. Now, I'm really confused.
Poor baby.
The female desire to feel protected and looked after is built into our DNA, says evolutionary psychologist Jeffrey Miller, a professor at the University of New Mexico and author of several books including The Mating Mind. It's a mismatch between what progressive women say they want and what they actually respond to, Miller told me. Women's instinctive mate preferences have evolved for centuries of thousands of years for guys who are competent, strong, good providers, good protectors, and happy with a sexual division of labor, he added. Women want decisive men who are also compassionate and thoughtful. Wow, what a discovery, Doc. I can see why you got that PhD. I feel like I always see this in feminist articles. Women trying to reinvent civilization, something they are naturally incapable of doing, followed by being mind-blown by things we've known since the dawn of time. The Western world is in serious trouble. We have Mark in one corner, being brought up with lessons of sacrifice, but unwilling to make any if it steps on a club chick's stilettos. Then we have the author and psychologist in another, just now discovering that women don't know how to make decisions. Honestly, how we've been able to hold on this long is a marvel. Well, the truth is crystal clear, even for the feminists at this point. Let's see how they're taking these new findings and putting them into practice.
Is it disrespectful if your boyfriend likes other girls' bikini pictures?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Disrespectful?
Yeah. Totally disrespectful.
Okay. Do you post bikini pictures?
Oh yeah, of course.
Is that not disrespectful to him?
Wait, no.
Why is
no,
it? Why
no,
not?
No,
But
no,
why?
it's not.
Why?
Listen, it's just different.
What do you mean it's different?
It's just different.
Okay.
I'm female and he's male, so it's different. Because I'm a woman and he's a man, so it's different.
I'm so sorry.
Little slap. Okay.
You got 100+ men telling you here that they prefer women to have lower body
all
counts.
of them are delusional. I don't care about what they think. I care about what I think. In my experience, I probably more women than most of these guys have in the audience. Okay.
Would it be fair to say that in general, women prefer a man taller than themselves?
Yeah, that's true.
Would it be fair to say that in general, women prefer a man that makes more money than them?
I guess some. Yeah.
In general, would it be fair to say that women want a guy that is more confident and ambitious than themselves?
Yeah, those things. Yes.
Okay. What if I said that women are delusional for these inherent standards?
I don't think it's delusional to have those standards.
Stop the show right there. I don't think it's delusional that they want women that have low body counts.
But why?
Hold on, stop the show.
The reason.
Look, this is the quintessential example of what I mean when I say female standards are respected and supposed to be adhered to, whereas male standards are considered delusional.
The only reason they want virgins is because they're really insecure that it might have been better than theirs.
Welp, looks like they only received half the memo, as usual. As stated in the second clip, when it comes to standards, women only want the corrections applied on one side of the aisle. Most are still disinterested in giving up the carousel for what they truly desire. Nakin, the writer, found a way to try and twist the narrative with a corrupted scientist who uses wording like, women want decisive men who are also compassionate and thoughtful. Ladies, real men are all of these things. So much so that we will literally take bullets for those we care about. The problem is that none of them want anything to do with you, and now you're left with those too scared to change, leaving you paradoxically dissatisfied with what you fought to achieve. The article continues with, a 2018 study from Iowa State University backs this up, reporting that progressive women prefer men who demonstrate more traditional dating behaviors. The women found these men to be more attractive because they signal a willingness to invest by being protective, committed, and by providing resources.
Dan, breaking news.
Gwen Stefani, presumably, has no doubt of these findings. On July 3rd, the pop star, who was raised in Blue State, California, wed country and western star Blake Shelton, a native of Red State, Oklahoma who is pro-gun, and a famous gentleman. Shelton even asked Stefani's father for his blessing before proposing in the Catholic wedding chapel he built for his bride. My friend Rock, 44, exemplifies this same type of old school man. His girlfriend, 36, is a typical New York City progressive feminist, he said. Before me, she dated liberal artists and creatives. I work in corporate America and am much more conservative and methodical. I pay for stuff, open doors, and she likes that I walk on her right side because she has a mild case of scoliosis, he added. The couple has been together for 5 years.
We'll see if it pans out.
Carrie, 45, is a fundraising executive who dated a man in 2018 with similar left-leaning values and beliefs. But before long, his egalitarian dating attitude and lack of initiative to plan dates led to a breakup. At work, I'm the boss. I have to run the show, be the cheerleader, have tough conversations, she told me. I make decisions all day long. At the end of the day, I want my guy to say, babe, I got this. So now we're again left to the obvious. Mark is sad and single, while millionaire cowboy Blake Shelton bags the chick. But we're still missing the key to the problem, the women involved. In the article, it mentions that the couples here have been married for 3 to 5 years, but as I said at the start, if things don't change on both sides, there is no sign that this will lead to relationship longevity. Quite the opposite. Throughout the article, Nakin does what every other woman in her position does. Identify the virus and refuse to reveal the cure. More than ever before, tons of women want traditional males. They've tried going with the spineless progressives who gave them everything they wanted and then realized that they weren't satisfied wearing the pants. This fundraising executive, Carrie, will be out on the streets in no time because she failed to identify what philosophy brought her here in the first place.
Who filed for divorce?
It was a mutual decision.
Who filed for divorce?
It was mutual.
Who filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce?
I can't necessarily.
Who filed for divorce?
I did.
Thank you. It's not a very hard question. You filed for divorce.
Well, in that
you filed for the ma'am. You just filed for divorce. That's all I'm asking.
But tell
you
me,
filed, no, ma'am. You filed for divorce. You filed for divorce. You filed for divorce. You filed for. You picked him. You married him, you picked him, and you filed for divorce. Like I said, again, you can't make this shit up. You didn't pick the right the first time. You should have been picking somebody without a job, getting married, and then you wrecked your own home. You left a man who didn't have a job. You knew what he was. I don't care. Okay. This is what I mean. You guys pick on potential and shit. This is why I say college educated, independent, earner, making these kind of decisions. You're better off if a man would be able to direct you. But this is the first go around. You said you had therapy. If you've had therapy, then that means you should, if you work the process, you should be making better decisions afterwards. And now you're in a relationship of 4 years and you still ain't married. The only common denominator in all this chaos is you. The man doesn't want to marry you.
I'll echo the sentiment for Mark and the gals in the back. The common denominator in all of this chaos is you. It's you, Mark, and the army of simp judges and politicians that continue to feed the feminist machine. It's you, Melanie Knockin, who provides women with the obvious, that women are drawn to men who take control while refusing to tell your friend how he sold his soul for a life of endless disappointment. And finally, it's you, Carrie, who has to adopt traditional values if you want a high-value man to give you the time of day.
You're supposed to simultaneously believe that men and women are vastly different, and there's a patriarchy and discrimination, gender wage gap, all these things. So men and women are totally different, but also they're exactly the same and should have the exact same interests, aspirations, to the point that there's complete equal outcomes in every dimension. Oh, but also there's social constructs, and none of it is real anyway.
Yeah.
And any man who says he's a woman or vice versa is that thing. So you're supposed to simultaneously accept all these things in your brain. And I think this is a great source of mental illness.
I think you're exactly right.
Double think, double speak, double disappointment. It'd be convenient for these folks if I, and the rest of the men watching this, saw the small changes and bought back into the system. But the truth is, all of us have already moved on. Men, clearly the clock is our friend. Some of us starting families in the East at the age of 65, but we would be foolish to assume that feminists can correctly change course before we're 6 feet under. We are a patient breed, but we're not immortal. I mean, come on. Every date in the West is like walking into that old, white, plushy room and sitting down with the patient wiggling in a straitjacket. Sure, maybe some of your words will get through to them, but the voices in their head were planted eons before we stepped into the picture. You, with your envied traditional roles, deserve to live a full life devoid of all the mental gymnastics feminists and Sims continue to endure. If you got to the end of this video, it looks like you've made that decision. And I don't think I have to say that you're all the better for it. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.